Hello, people of the universe. It is me, Eden Taylor, your resident movie lover and actress and just all-round person in general. So today, as you can tell by the title, it is the 6 Strikes of Wuthering Heights. And no, I'm not talking about the book. The book is literal perfection. I am talking about the latest remake that has been made. I think it's already been made and is being put out on Valentine's Day of all days. Wonderful. In 2026. Reason I say why it shouldn't be put out on Valentine's Day is because it is about a very, very toxic relationship. So if you don't know what Wuthering Heights is, I got a quick I paraphrased the plot from Wikipedia. Though I do love the book. I actually have 2 copies of it over there. Hang on, I'll show you. So I promise I am a fan. I have 2 copies. I actually forgot I got this one for my birthday, and I was like, I still don't have a copy of Wuthering Heights, and so a friend of mine bought this. But it's alright. And then I have the DVD, which I've just yet to watch. But it's got, who's it got in it? Anna Calder Marshall and Timothy Dalton. It's an old one. It definitely looks like it's from, 1970. Nah, it's gotta be earlier. I don't know. It's an older one, but yeah, it looks good. So, it's already been made before, as you can see. There's been 14 iterations of this, and then obviously the book came first. So what is Wuthering Heights? Written by Emily Bronte, in 1801, Mr. Lockwood, the new tenant at Thrushcross Grange in Yorkshire, pays a visit to his landlord Heathcliff at his remote moorland farmhouse, Wuthering Heights. It's the name of the book! There he meets the other inhabitants of the house, and everyone is sullen and inhospitable. Snowed in for the night, Lockwood reads diary entries of the former inhabitant of his room, Catherine Earnshaw, and has a nightmare in which a ghostly Catherine begs to enter through the window. Awakened by Lockwood's fearful yells, Heathcliff is troubled. Lockwood later returns to Thrushcross Grange, it's so hard to say, in heavy snow, falls ill from the cold, and becomes bedridden. While he recovers, Lockwood's housekeeper, Ellen Dean, tells him the story of the strange family. Yeah, as I said, 14 iterations already in movies. The original book, and then also the amazing song by Kate Bush. It's me, I'm Kathy. That whole thing. So cold. I love it. She's such a beautiful... for those of you who don't know, she sang Running Up That Hill, which was in Stranger Things. So that's how you would know her. And it's such a good song. It's like the first song I ever heard of hers. And the dance is beautiful. And I love it. But yeah, so we're up to our 15th version, which is Strike 1. We are in this premium era of remakes and sequels, painful as that is, and this only adds to the epidemic of unoriginality. My proof? Well, let's see what's on at my local cinema right now. Let's look it up. 6 out of the 9 movies playing on the 15th of September are remakes or adaptations, including The Long Walk, The Naked Gun, and The Roses. Or at least Emerald Fennell didn't call this The Wuthering Heights. I mean, I understand the pull to use pre-established material for your own message or gain, but looking at Fennell's standout film, Promising Young Woman, it seems like a waste of her creativity, as is Saltburn, the erotic, talented Mr. Ripley ripoff, but I'm too Christian to go anywhere near that. Strike 2, I believe, is Catherine Earnshaw. So the whole Strike 2 and 3 is more about the casting, which has caused lots and lots of debate online. The main character of this, or the secondary main character, she kind of haunts, she's one of those characters that haunts the storyline, is Catherine Earnshaw, who is played by Margot Robbie. Catherine Earnshaw is 6 at the start of the book and 18 or 19 at her death. Margot Robbie is 35. So not 18. Gorgeous, but not 18. Talented, but not 18. Hard-working, but not 18. I'm almost 18. We don't look the same age, clearly. She doesn't look 35, but she also doesn't look 18. Now, I love Margot Robbie. She has my respect. She is the co-founder of Lucky Chap Entertainment and has built herself up to a position where she has the power to cast herself in pretty much whatever she likes. I know they've produced many successful projects, including Saltburn and Promising Young Woman, and she obviously knows what she's doing. but I also know that herself and Emerald Fennell have a professional relationship that started way back in 2010. They also worked on the Barbie movie together recently, which is peak, by the way, but I honestly think that that would cause her to be biased in what she endorses and causes casting blunders such as this. The second strike of casting and the third strike overall is the casting of Heathcliff. Heathcliff, no last name, is Jacob Elordi, the white 28-year-old Australian man who I assume is playing the ages of mid-20s to 39, which is older than what Margot Robbie currently is. There is spirited debate around what descent Heathcliff is meant to be, sometimes being described as a dark-skinned gypsy, and other times as pale as the wall behind him. Another description is possibly Spanish. There has been people trying to argue that he was of African descent because when Mr. Earnshaw found him, he was described to have no owner. But to me, this seems to be kind of a loose theory, since children were thought as the property of their parents in those days, not necessarily a slave or needing a slave owner. Even though no one can seem to agree on his appearance, the fact that there is a debate at all makes me question the choice of casting Elordi. Because of Heathcliff's social status and the way others treated him, there is definitely some sort of racial ambiguity, which should have been taken into account. Heathcliff has been played by white actors before, but in 2025 there's no need to continue the trend of race changing, especially when it is an important part of a character. So strike 4. The wedding dress. 'Twas March 21st, and all through the web, not a creature was stirring, not even celebs, when suddenly a new photo was posted with care, unaware of the unrest it would stir, right in here. Historically inaccurate, highly unflattering, with game of umbrellas saying, "Why is Kathy out in the moors in a white wedding dress?" Putting into words what we're all desperate to know. So this was the second major thing to cause uproar. First the casting, and now the costuming. Now I'm no fashion historian, but from what I've gathered, this dress is not era appropriate. In 1783, which is when this was set, the style of the dress would have most likely been the popular polonaise style of the day, with lots of petticoats, loops of ribbons, and tons of layers, rather than the simpler style reminiscent of an 1840s silhouette. Robbie's dress is speculated to have taken direct inspiration from Queen Victoria's wedding dress when she married Albert, 6 decades after Kathy's wedding would have taken place. Both dresses have an off-the-shoulder neckline, short puffed sleeves, and a V-shaped bodice. More accurate choices would have been a low and round neckline, 3/4 frilled sleeves, and a tight bodice. Perhaps Fennell wanted to get across the fact that her take is more modern, but they could have at least hidden the hoops a bit better. That's what the petticoats and layers are for. So then, September 4th happened. The first official teaser for Wuthering Heights dropped. Wuthering Heights 2026. Now I don't want to get copyrighted, so you get timestamps and screenshots, and I do not recommend watching the whole thing. Immediately no. While massaging the tender loins of dough, Charlie XCX begins to introduce the soundtrack of this gothic romance. If this movie was an apple, it would be rotten, right to the core. No hate to Elordi and his dialect coach, but that English accent is going to take some getting used to. Pick me, boy, for real. I do believe fingering eggs might just be a salmonella risk. Queen's about to oh just looking at him. Thank the Lord you can't see the hoops. Jealousy, jealousy, yeah. That dress was probably very expensive considering they had to time travel to get it. Let's just set fashion historians back decades. This is the most replayed portion of the teaser. Salmonella is a hotter commodity than I thought. 50 Shades of Horse Manure. I think he's playing with her belly button? Finally, we're at our 6th strike. The poster. I don't know about you, but it seems that frankly, my dear, that guy just does not give a damn. and neither does Emerald Fennell. I know a lot of this video essay was poking fun at this adaptation, but it all comes from a place of serious disappointment. The source material is very dear to me, as I said, and I feel that it has been dishonoured. The original book deals sincerely with issues of racism, patriarchy, jealousy, and betrayal. Characters die, characters are redeemed, and it is a genius work of poetic literacy. I obviously haven't seen the movie in its entirety, but based on the lack of respect for the time period and characters already, I can't imagine that the incessant fingering fest is going to be much better. And I don't know why, in this poster, they had to bring Gone with the Wind into it. Although that story does have its own issues. I might see the movie, I might not. If I do, I can see myself fast-forwarding through most scenes, so I certainly will not be seeing it in theatres. I believe that when directors and writers are put into a position of money and status, they have a duty to contribute positively to the industry. You don't get to that point without putting serious effort into your craft, so why would you want to waste it on bad outcomes? Original or not, when you have a piece of writing, you treat it with respect, because that's what it deserves, especially a piece of writing that is 178 years old. I hope with every cinephilic bone in my body that this doesn't turn out as badly as it's shaping up to be, but gosh, my expectations are low. I mean, if only this movie could have been set apart from Wuthering Heights. They could have called it Pepper Freeze or something. I don't know. Saltburn, opposite, Just some semblance of originality that doesn't dishonour source material. Call me a purist, I don't care. I prefer a story over erotica. Sue me. I don't think this is a reflection of the industry as a whole. I don't believe we are doomed forever when it comes to the constant remakes and adaptions. There are some beautiful and heart-wrenching original films that have come out this year and are coming out, and it's those I think we need to bring our attention to. For instance, Tina is a beautiful film that came out in New Zealand earlier this year and is now premiering across America. It is about a Samoan woman who is grieving the passing of her daughter and reluctantly takes a job at a private school teaching a girls' choir. She takes inspiration from her Samoan roots to form the choir and cultivates connection and identity across generations. Familiar Touch is an indie film that I saw at the NZ International Film Festival about a woman with dementia. It's a slow-paced yet engaging character-driven film that sucks you in from the start and delivers many gut punches along the way. Warfare was a big standout movie for me this year, about a platoon of Navy SEALs trapped in a house in Iraq, unable to reach the support just outside of the door because of the bombs and shootouts. The sound design is especially incredible, and you feel as if you are amongst the combat. Joseph Quinn especially gave an amazing performance. Then there are some upcoming movies I'm actually excited for. A Big Bold Beautiful Journey, starring Wuthering Heights' own Margot Robbie. One Battle After Another, which I don't know a lot about, but it's Paul Thomas Anderson, so it'll be a good one. And Pike River. None of these are remakes, only Pike River is based on a real event, and they're all shaping up to be really good. So to close, Wuthering Heights deserves better, but I don't think films are doomed. You just have to watch the right ones.